Olivia Carter spent her life sacrificing everything for her family, only to watch the man she built and her twin sister betray her in the cruelest way. At 11:47 p.m., a call was placed to 911 from an apartment in Anchorage, Alaska. No words were spoken, just heavy breathing. When officers arrived minutes later, they found a scene that would leave even the most seasoned detectives questioning everything they thought they knew. To understand what happened that night, we need to go back to the very beginning, to two sisters who were once inseparable. Before we continue, if you're fascinated by cases like this, ones that make you question everything, consider subscribing. We uncover the most chilling, most complex stories, and this one is no exception. Olivia Carter was always the responsible one, the older twin by just a few minutes, but years ahead in maturity. Where Emily was carefree, Olivia was cautious. Where Emily was spontaneous, Olivia planned every detail of her life. From an early age, Olivia understood sacrifice. Their mother's health was fragile, their father long gone. Olivia took on the burden. She worked, she studied, she planned for a future where things would finally be different, where she wouldn't have to carry everything alone. Emily was different. She loved attention, she loved being adored, and she always had someone to give her exactly that. But Olivia never resented her for it. At least, not yet. When Daniel Wright entered their lives, Olivia thought, for the first time, that she was finally going to have something for herself. She supported him. Through school, through late nights and early mornings, through his ambitions, his dreams. She believed in him. And when he proposed, she believed in forever. Then, one night, Olivia saw something that changed everything. A message, a name, a betrayal she never saw coming. At 11:47 p.m., a call was placed to 911 from an apartment in Anchorage, Alaska. No words were spoken, just heavy breathing. When officers arrived, what they found inside would change everything. When police arrived at the scene, they were met with an unsettling silence. The apartment door was unlocked, no signs of forced entry, at least not at first glance. Olivia Carter was found sitting in the dark, her knees pulled to her chest, her eyes vacant. She didn't speak. She didn't even acknowledge the officers at first. She wasn't injured, not physically, but something was terribly wrong. And then they found Emily. Emily Carter was found in her bedroom, barely responsive. Her injuries were severe, but she was alive. She had been attacked. But by who? A burner phone, placed carefully on the bed, not discarded, not lost in the chaos. Left there, as if someone wanted it to be found. The officers move quickly. The paramedics arrive, stabilizing Emily as she moans weakly. But as they move her onto the stretcher, she manages to say something. Just one word. Daniel. Daniel Wright, Olivia's fiancé, Emily's soon-to-be brother-in-law, and the one person who was supposed to be here tonight, but wasn't. Emily Carter was attacked in her own apartment, the night before her wedding, and the one person she whispered before losing consciousness? The groom. At first, investigators considered the most obvious possibility, a violent robbery, a home invasion, but nothing was stolen. Olivia's purse, still dumped out on the floor, hadn't been touched. Emily's jewelry, her designer wedding gown, the cash on the counter, everything was still there. And then, there was Olivia. Olivia was still in the corner. She hasn't moved. An officer kneels beside her again, asking a simple question. Olivia, did you see who did this? She doesn't answer. Then, finally, she lifts her head and whispers something so faint the officer has to lean in to hear. I tried to stop it. The officer asks again, stop what? But Olivia doesn't respond. Tried to stop what? And why was Daniel Wright nowhere to be found? A detective steps into the bedroom. He scans the chaos. Then he notices something else. Something small but deeply unsettling. There was one more detail. A red rose petal. Not scattered, not trampled, just one. Placed neatly on the nightstand, and that, more than anything, told detectives this was not random. This was something else entirely. They were born just 3 minutes apart, but from the very beginning, Olivia and Emily Carter were nothing alike. Olivia was the responsible one, the cautious one, the one who never forgot to say thank you, who always followed the rules. Emily, on the other hand, was wild, charming. She knew how to get what she wanted, without ever having to ask. Even as children, Olivia was always cleaning up Emily's messes, and as they got older, that never changed. When their mother's health started failing, it was Olivia who stayed behind. Olivia who picked up the extra shifts. Olivia who made sure the bills were paid. Emily was always somewhere else, but Olivia never resented her for it. Not yet. When Olivia met Daniel Wright for the first time in her life, she felt like someone saw her, chose her. Daniel was everything Olivia had worked toward, a man with a future, a man she could build something with. And she did. She supported him. Through school, through late nights and early mornings. She believed in him when no one else did. And when he proposed, she believed in forever. A text message pops up on screen, a name she never expected to see. We need to talk about Daniel. But Forever had other plans. At first, Olivia didn't believe it. Emily had always been reckless, but this was different. Liv, I don't know how to tell you this, but you need to know. Daniel and it wasn't supposed to happen. I swear. But it did. It had been going on for months. While Olivia was planning a wedding, her sister was sneaking around with the groom. Olivia didn't cry. She didn't scream. She just stood there, staring at the broken glass, at the life she had built, now in pieces. They didn't even try to deny it. When Olivia confronted Daniel, he didn't have an excuse. He just said, "I never meant for you to find out this way." But it wasn't the betrayal that changed Olivia. It was what came next. She had spent her whole life taking care of others, cleaning up Emily's messes, holding Daniel together. But now she was done. She went browsing how to buy an untraceable phone. The old Olivia would have walked away. The old Olivia would have let them have each other. But the old Olivia was gone. She didn't need revenge. She needed something else. Something that would make sure Emily would never walk down that aisle. What happened next wasn't a crime of passion. It wasn't impulsive. It was planned. And it was just beginning. A dimly lit room. The only source of light is the glow from Olivia's phone screen. Her hands tremble as she scrolls through message after message. The texts between Emily and Daniel are endless. Flirtations, confessions, plans. Plans that should have been hers. "I can't wait until tomorrow. I love you." At exactly 12:04 a.m., Olivia Carter sat alone in her apartment, reading the final confirmation of her worst nightmare. Emily and Daniel weren't just having an affair, they were in love, and in less than a day, they would be married. She had lost everything. The man she built, the future she planned, the sister she spent her life protecting. But Olivia wasn't the type to cry over spilled milk. No, she was the type to clean up the mess. It's time. Are you in? Depends how much. Olivia didn't turn to a stranger. She knew exactly who to call, because this wasn't the first time she had seen his name in a case file. Jason Cole was a man with a past. A man who did bad things to good people for the right price. And Olivia? Olivia had saved his number for a reason she never thought she'd use. She didn't need to tell him what to do. He already knew. Emily Carter had no idea what was coming. She was too busy being the bride, too busy planning her perfect day. The plan was simple. Jason would break in, terrify Emily, hurt her just enough to make sure she couldn't go through with the wedding, and just enough to make sure she'd never look at Daniel the same way again. But there was one problem. Olivia wasn't just orchestrating the attack, she was going to be there. At 11:42 p.m., Jason Cole entered the complex through an unlocked back door. Security cameras? Disabled. Alarm system? Never armed. Olivia made sure of it. Emily was in her bedroom, humming to herself. Her wedding dress sways slightly on the hanger. Then there was a noise. a soft creak from the living room. She wasn't expecting company, and for the first time all night, she felt it. Something was off. The plan was unfolding perfectly. Jason had her exactly where he needed, helpless, terrified, a moment she'd never forget. But there was one thing Olivia didn't account for. Jason wasn't alone. Olivia was waiting for Jason's call. A simple, "It's done," but the call never came. Instead, Emily's call came in. "Liv, help me, please." Something had gone terribly wrong. This was supposed to be controlled. It was never supposed to go this far. Emily was supposed to be traumatized, not destroyed. And now, Olivia wasn't just the grieving sister. She was a suspect. 911 call. Female victim. Possible assault. Suspect fled on foot. Anchorage police arrived at the scene at 12:16 a.m. What they found inside wasn't just an attack, it was a message. "Can you tell me who did this to you?" Emily Carter had survived the attack, but her nightmare was far from over. Surveillance footage captured two men entering Emily Carter's apartment that night, but only one of them would leave injured. The attacker had been careful, no fingerprints, no direct DNA. But the struggle left behind something unexpected. We've seen this before. This isn't random. There's just one problem. Jason Cole isn't the one who bled. The DNA at the crime scene didn't belong to Jason Cole, which meant someone else was there, someone they weren't expecting. Emily, we need to know, do you recognize the man who did this to you? No, I didn't see his face. Are you sure? I didn't recognize him, but I know who sent him. Emily Carter couldn't name her attacker. But she was certain about one thing. This wasn't a robbery. It wasn't random. Someone wanted to make sure she never made it to her wedding day. Find Olivia Carter. Now. The break in the case came from an unexpected place, a single phone call. The phone was traced to an unregistered SIM card, no personal records, no contract, but detectives had seen this tactic before. Criminals use burner phones for one reason, to disappear. Detectives dug deeper. The burner phone was used only a handful of times. But one call lasted 4 minutes and 17 seconds. Someone went through a lot of trouble to cover their tracks. Then, another discovery. Olivia Carter had more than just a connection to Jason Cole. Her phone records placed her in direct contact with Lucas Grant, a man with a history of targeting women. This wasn't random. Olivia Carter knew exactly who to call. She had access to case files, names, weaknesses, and she knew who was desperate enough to take the job. Tell us what happened that night. The man who had nearly destroyed Emily Carter refused to speak at first. He knew the rules. No confession, no deal. We have your DNA at the scene. We have footage of you entering her apartment. If you don't talk, you'll be the only one going down for this. I was hired. By who? I ain't saying names. Daniel Wright? With Lucas Grant refusing to name his employer, police turned to the only other person with a clear motive, Daniel Wright. We know about the affair. We know about Olivia's calls. What we don't know is your role in this. I had nothing to do with this. You think I wanted Emily hurt? Daniel Wright swore he was innocent, that he had no idea what was happening. But one question remained. If Daniel didn't set this up, who did? The truth was right there, just beneath the surface, and it was about to take an even darker turn. Anchorage PD. Open up. Olivia Carter, you're under arrest for conspiracy to commit assault and aggravated battery. After months of investigation, the case against Olivia Carter had finally reached its breaking point. Detectives had traced the burner phone, linked payments to Lucas Grant, and recovered incriminating messages from Olivia's encrypted chats. It needs to look like a robbery. Don't hurt her too much. Just enough. She can't walk down the aisle. The trial of Olivia Carter quickly became the most sensational case Anchorage had seen in years. A sister's betrayal, a wedding shattered, and a motive that stunned even seasoned prosecutors. This was not a crime of passion. This was cold, calculated, deliberate. Olivia Carter orchestrated the attack on her own twin sister, not out of anger, but out of control. Mr. Wright, can you describe your relationship with the defendant? We were engaged for 6 years. I thought she was my future. And yet, you were having an affair with her sister. Yes, and I regret it, but I never thought Olivia would do this. Daniel Wright was no saint. He had betrayed Olivia, but even he hadn't expected what she would do next. Emily, can you tell us what you remember from the night of the attack? I was getting ready for bed. I heard the door. Then, someone grabbed me. It all happened so fast. For the first time during the trial, Olivia Carter's mask slipped, just slightly, a flicker of something in her eyes as she watched her sister recount the nightmare she had planned. Emily, do you believe your sister was responsible? Yes. Emily, you and your sister were close for most of your lives, weren't you? We were. And despite everything, do you still love her? Yes. I hate what she did, but I still love her. Has the jury reached a verdict? We have, Your Honor. We find the defendant, Olivia Carter, guilty on all counts of conspiracy to commit assault and aggravated battery. Olivia Carter, you are hereby sentenced to 25 years in federal prison. Olivia Carter in prison dressed in orange, sitting alone in a visitation room with a guard watching from the corner. The door opens and Emily Carter steps in. Why? You already know why. The trial was over, the sentence was given, but for the Carter sisters, justice didn't bring closure. Only more questions. Olivia Carter had lost everything, her fiancé, her freedom, her family. But there was one thing she never lost, her silence. Olivia, tell us the truth. Did you plan this alone? Does it matter? Despite Olivia's conviction, not everyone believed she acted alone. A deeper look into the case raised unsettling questions, questions that were never fully answered. Some believed Daniel Wright was more than just an unfaithful fiancé, that he had manipulated both sisters, pitting them against each other, ensuring that no matter what happened, he'd walk away free. Daniel, do you have anything to say about Olivia's conviction? She got what she deserved. Was Daniel an innocent bystander in Olivia's revenge, or was he playing a game no one else could see? Tell me the truth. Did you do this alone? Truth is just a matter of perspective. So, you're saying there's more to the story? Olivia Carter never gave a full confession. She never explained her motives. She never answered the biggest question. Was she a heartbroken woman pushed too far, or a calculating mastermind who knew exactly what she was doing? Justice was served. Olivia Carter was behind bars, but for Emily Carter, the scars remained. And for Daniel Wright, he moved on, unchanged, untouched, free. In the end, Olivia wasn't the only one guilty. She was just the only one who paid the price. What do you think? Did Olivia truly deserve her sentence? Or was she just another pawn in a game she couldn't win? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you thought this case was disturbing, wait until you hear about what's next. Subscribe now, because the next one, it's even darker.